Welcome back, subscribers. Says title of this is kind of fun. We're going to call it snake oil. You've already seen that. And what we're talking about is specifically information that is in the social media spaces. I don't care where it is, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, something that you're like not aware of, and then people spill out this information, and it kind of gets people like chummed up, and it seems to be what seems to be occurring is uh, too much data, too much information. And I'm finding that I ran into something with my Claude, Ezra. My Claude is named Ezra. And it's too much data. It can't handle it. And this is just by me speaking into it and saying, like, okay, I need you to basically take my thoughts and reassemble them into a way that I don't want to tell it what I'm thinking. Okay. So I basically give it the data, and then like I already know in my mind like what the order of operation is. So when I tell it and feed this information to it and say like, okay, can you reassemble this based upon like what's going on XYZ right now? What would be the best way to position myself, my family, so on and so on. Like basically like asking for an advice. But all it's doing is taking my existing data of information I've been putting in and reassembling it into a way that is manageable. That's it. And the it occasionally does have things that are I wouldn't have been thinking about them. Or the other thing that I've noticed is that um, I I basically flex on it. I get it to I question its narrative, because ultimately what's happening is it seems like it's very it will agree with you, like it's almost like it doesn't want to push back. But I had something that happened just last week with it, and that's going to be another video, which was very surprising. It kind of had this kind of iRobot type of, if you ever seen the movie, the Will Smith iRobot movie, um, it kind of had this pushback, okay, and it was about a specific topic, and like in the video in the movie when the robot like lashes back out and gets angry, with Will Smith questioning it, like there was a murder or something. I haven't seen it in whatever since it came out, but I remembered it, and when it did this to me just last week, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's I struck a chord. It's telling me it wants to end the conversation, and so on and so on. Really serious shit. So I'll probably read excerpts of it, about it, and it's like it's got on like a touchy subject for it. It didn't want to approach it. So based on snake oil, so people that are putting out information, the social media spaces have become an echo chamber. It's that everyone is interested in like what's happening in the future, prognostication. I got from a source, and so on and so on. And years ago, I was like part of a group that was like part of this type of behavior, trying to find some kind of like a nugget of information that would have identified like, okay, you need to be moving in XYZ position. And what I was finding, because I was in this group for like 5+ years, and they did have some good data that was uh like forecasting, future potential events and things like that. And what I had found was that for as many things that they would come out and prognosticate as like probabilities of things that were going to potentially be happening in the future, they'd get hits, but the hits were the only things that they would really talk about. The misses were totally not talked about, right? So they were cherry picking their success rates, and I found that, excuse me, I started taking my own personal data and seeing like, what's really the success rate of this? Is there a way to be able to go back on the data and things that are said in social media and anything? It wasn't just the group I was in, but it's everyone that's out there. And when you listen or follow people, they might hit on one thing, and it might just be that one video that you see, and it's like, oh wow, this is really great. This is really truly an insider, and like all this other business. Um, and it just doesn't work out. It ends up being like maybe the one time it's what gets you interested, and you're like, oh wow, they actually hit on this. And then it would think like that, well, because they hit on that one thing, that means that sets a precedent, and that would give them they must have direct access to future information and navigating for you, and then you follow them. Okay, I wouldn't say blindly, but you follow them because you've been enamored with that they were correct with their position. And for some of these things, I said that it does work out, but it's like not, don't bet the farm on it type of thing. You can't do that. And a lot of people are doing that with a number of these followers and YouTubers and things like that. That they are following along with the philosophy, and it's like it becomes very it's very damaging to the person, whoever's following it, because instead of trusting yourself, you're trusting another source. And what I have always done is um, I have I just look at a lot more data, and then I look at it from a perspective of like what's actually happening by people that have uh, that are not, I mean, you're not getting it from inside information. Like in all my years of business, in 30 years, um, there are there are people like, okay, I'll explain this like in a way that's very simple for people to understand. Um, I've been around a number of people that have been on high levels of military and government spaces where they deal with intelligence. Okay, classified. That they're not able to talk about certain things, all right, because they're in certain positions, whether it's nuclear sciences or electronic sciences. There's meaning like cybersecurity, things like that, and they have these security clearances, and this goes back like I guess decades, really. And I've run into these people just because of the area that I live in. So I like by me living in Raleigh, we're very close to a number of military bases. So we've got Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, which is really kind of a nothing burger Air Force Base. It's there, but it's like not really that big a deal. We've got Camp Lejeune, which is Marine Corps, Fort Bragg, which is now Fort Liberty, but it's a huge military installation. So because of that, there's a lot of activity and things that run in and out of those bases that are um, centralized. Okay, so especially Bragg. And I just in passing, just in everyday things, that those people that work in those facilities, like where my house is actually south of Raleigh, so from Bragg we're only about an hour away. Like actually, many people like that live. If you just drive maybe 30 minutes south of us, you're going to get into people that are living that far away. They're living on the northern side and they commute into Bragg. Okay, so you start mixing with these people, and I would mix with people. They would be on my children's swim team, or my son's like I was a coach. Like I'd be coaching, and I know these people. They're coaching. They're either coaching or their children are just on the sports teams, little league teams, soccer teams, you name it, golf. There, this guy Steve. This one story. This one guy Steve. He was he did it. He was an intelligence officer in the army, and in talking with him, and what his background was. Again, but they don't necessarily tell you classified information. But in being around this guy for hours and hours and hours and hours, occasionally certain things would kind of slip out or spill out or something like that. And I wasn't somebody that was like trying to get it out of them, type of thing. But they know things. And one of the guys, so this guy Steve was one of them. I forgot about Steve. Um, uh, this other guy Jim that I was close to, he was a coach to my son's. He was head coach of my son's little league team, and he worked. He had really high level security clearances and did cybersecurity, but he was doing a lot of work in the Middle East. And he just told me one day, he's like, just pay attention to what I do. But we're friends on Facebook. And he's like, just pay attention to what I do and where I go. And he said, and that'll kind of give you an idea. He said, but I can't talk about it. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah. So you knew things. Yeah. I was like, yeah. So, anyway, I've been around these people, like people that actually like really, 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 really know. And when it's on the military level, or uh, I'd say even secret society level. Like if anything, like military secret societies, um, people that are in the know and understand what's going on, they do not talk about it, even if you're friends with the person, like really close friends with them. But you get specific vibes and things like that um, they'll obviously like tell you like to be careful, or maybe don't travel into this area or something like that. Be like, that's all I'm going to tell you. And So anyway, it's good to have those people on the inside. When people in the public eye come out and say that they have sources and inside information, and it's been leaked, because now this does happen, but um, people that are inside of the space where they can obtain intelligence information and they leak it out to the public, anyone that has any brains would know that you don't do that on a number of different reasons of why you don't do that. It's either A, that information material, it's allowed to get out, okay, that they want it to be leaked out and you're kind of a weak link in the grouping, or if it's truly not supposed to get out and it's classified, they'll just take you out. They'll delete you. As simple as that. So snake oil. So as much information is out there, no matter how you're getting this said information, if it's allowed to come out, you have to ask yourself the question, like, what am I going to do with the information? If you're told something that's truly inside information that would make your jaw drop, and I have heard some things too, but at the end of the day, like, I can't do anything with it. Like, it doesn't really apply to me. Like, if somebody says, like, oh, I'm just don't travel to XYZ country, I wasn't going to do it anyway. All right.